Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I am your host, Garrett Morlang.
I am your co-host, JJ Purdom.
And we are here for another week. Week 30. This is episode 39. Can you believe that?
We've been stuck in this room for 39 weeks.
Yeah, it's basically a Survivor.
Yeah, and it's
Except
weird.
I think it's like 30-something days for them. We're going for the long haul.
And it's weird because it smells really bad in this room, and Garrett has been eating some weird stuff, man.
Yeah, I had some tuna noodle pasta tonight, so that's going to smell a little
Who eats
good
anything
on my
with
breath.
carbs? Ugh.
Yeah, I'm all about them carbs. Bring it on. It's been a week. That's for sure. How was your weekend?
Oh my gosh. My weekend was incredible. I was able to play some crazy binging on video games. I got a full hour in on Uncharted 4.
Dang.
Dusting off that
Must
old
be
classic. Nice. Oh, you have no idea. It was very nice. My wife was out of the house for a little while. So I took full advantage of 1 hour of playing. And then the rest of the weekend was spent as a family playing the Wii together, the Nintendo Wii, not the Wii U, because that system sucks. But no, we were playing the Nintendo Wii, and we were playing Super Paper Mario and also Dr. Mario. And despite what was written online, I pretty much destroyed everyone in Dr. Mario. And that's the way I will tell the story from here on out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what I heard from your wife.
No, she was totally a liar. Dude, she's so good. She beats me so badly in that game. It was really cool, though. It was probably the first time in a very long time that the whole family, including my older daughter, like all kind of hung out. We all played video games, and we all watched Dad cry as he got beat over and over and over again on Dr. Mario.
Nice. Well, now that you've spoiled what you're playing for later.
Oh, crap. No. Edit that out.
Okay. My weekend was so busy. Saturday, we had a big community event. We helped run, put on this event for Oakdale, which is a town near us. Our church did a big event where, like, hey, come out, have some free lunch and games for the kids and stuff. So we just hung out. Basically, I was a photographer, so I was going around taking pictures and videos and stuff. Pretty sweet. But man, we got home and just exhausted. Been up so early in the morning, going and setting up that and having that event all day. But it was good. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people showed up. It's pretty cool.
Was that the day you said that you were like videotaping everything and taking pictures and stuff?
Yeah. I was walking around with the camera and videoing stuff, taking pictures and hopefully put together a video or something with all that. Hopefully I got some halfway decent footage. We'll see. When
you're doing video of other people, especially their children, do you like make up commentary while you're there? I mean, are you like, as somebody's going to cut the cake or something, like, and right now the knife coming down, slices in to that beautiful red velvet cake. Look at the size of that cake. That cake is incredible. The icing is just all over You don't do that?
No, not so much.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
Yeah, definitely didn't do that.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
No, it was really tricky though because I wasn't allowed to get any of the kids' faces in the shots, and because that's a whole touchy thing too. Like unless you get everyone like sign permission, like, hey, can I video and take pictures of your kids?
So you're just filming their butts and stuff. Yeah, that's even weirder. That's you're gonna go to jail.
No, but it's just like, oh, they're playing these games. Like, okay, I gotta stand behind them. I can't like film them from the side or the front, or if I do a side, it has to be like, just the right angle so the sun's behind, and then you just see a silhouette. You don't see their face. And
yeah, you're all yelling at little Jimmy, just your backside, turn around, I can only film your backside, Jimmy.
It was quite the precarious minefield I was traversing.
Better you than me, Garrett. Better you than me.
But I think I got some good stuff. We'll see. Well, if you guys haven't already.
Oh, they have. Because it has picked up. Did you know that more and more people every single day have been clicking on that link, have been sharing us on Patreon, and they're posting us on Instapot, and they have linked us on the face space.
I haven't even said what I'm talking about yet, so you're just you're just rambling right now.
No,
You
go ahead.
Can I finish?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, thanks. If you guys haven't already, please go check us out at Patreon, at patreon.com/supergamerboys.
That's what I was going to say, Garrett. I was going to say that.
I knew you were going to get there, but it was just going to take a really long time, and we don't have that much time. That's the thing.
We make up the time. We don't have a set time. We're all over the place, Garrett.
These people who listen to our podcast have only so much time, and we don't want to waste all of it, only some of it.
Okay.
If you haven't already, though, please go check us out at patreon.com/supergamerboys. Over there, you can support us monthly. Financially. That's what I mean by that.
Yes. Yes.
You can support us for just a couple bucks a month, or we have tiers all up to like 10 or 15 bucks a month. And what that does, it helps us keep the microphones on, the lights on, helps keep our bellies full. That's not true. It doesn't do that. But
trust me, I got in trouble. I had to put some money back in the coffers after I went through Jack in the Box recently. Sorry about that.
But no, everything goes back into the podcast. Everything goes into bringing more and more content and better content to the podcast. We have different tiers, like I said, all the way from just like $1 or $2 if you want to give, up to our Patreon producer tier, which Matt Luce supports us at, and he gets to help pitch different segments for the show. We haven't heard from him in a while. I don't know what's happening, but hopefully we'll hear from him, eventually. Once maybe he.
I heard he's in witness protection ever since. That's what I heard. Ever since he got out, because he was serving that little, sentence on some trumped up charges. But yeah, I heard that he's currently having to change his name legally to M-Dog. I'm hoping that
you've spoiled that you've said it on the air.
I wasn't supposed to do that, was I?
Nah, that kind of defeats the purpose of witness.
Edit that part out.
Okay.
You're really quick and good with that edit button, except for when it counts.
No, especially when it counts. I'm real good when it counts, trust me. But yeah, thank you so much to our Patreon producer, Matt Liu. We couldn't do it without you. And also our other tier, the Patreon sponsor tier, you can support us at that level, such as Bill Bird.
Yep, Bill's the man. Bill helped me out doing a job not that long ago. Let's
stop for a second here. Let's think real quick, just for a second. Is this something that Bill would actually want to hear you say on the podcast?
Yes.
Because we've gotten some feedback that he doesn't like. He doesn't like all the little tirades and crazy rabbit trails
tirades he does.
And stuff you go on. So
no, he's gonna love it. So he went and helped me on a job not that long ago. And there was a dude who said, "Hey, what's that up there?" And I can't see that up there. And so the guy said, "Well, let me grab a ladder." And he jumped and put a ladder up. And this dude is crazy. And Bill and I held the ladder while this man scurried up to the top of the ladder, stood on top of the ladder, and was staring at this thing. And he goes, "Hold the ladder, guys." And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to fall and break his neck. Or even worse, fall and break my neck. Because if he falls and hurts me, like, I don't want to get hurt. You know what I mean? Is that selfish? Well,
no.
He had like really billowy shorts. So the worst part was
oh no.
Yeah, I just
number one of holding the ladder for someone. Don't look up.
That apparently needs to be in writing. Needs to be in writing. Should be
on the sticker on the ladder. It says warning: don't step on top wrong, and don't look up when holding ladder.
Well, then like I told him, I said, you're not supposed to stand on that. They actually stamped that onto the ladder, and he's like, then why do they put a step on top? And I'm like, I got nothing. You do whatever you want, sir. So we just let him go up there.
Jeez.
Thanks, Bill.
Good stuff. Also, if you have already gone and checked us out at Patreon and you're still wondering, where else can I see these cool boys that I listen to on this podcast?
That sounds so bad when you say, where can I see these cool boys?
You go over to supergamerboys.com/Discord. We're actually, it's a lot more, it's pretty active in there. It's pretty cool to see some of our community chatting back and forth. We're able to chime in and share stuff that's going on in our week. So Discord is basically a chat server, both text chat and voice chat. Whether you want to use it just for hanging out, we have different channels for just discussing fun, random stuff. There's voice channels if you want to jump in and play a game with either us or one of our buddies, or one of the people in our community who listen to the podcast. So go check out Discord if you just want to have a cool little chat room where you can talk with just our Super Gamer Boys community. And like I mentioned last week, we also have the new links for Twitch and YouTube, where you can just go to supergamerboys.com/ and then if you want Twitch, type in Twitch. If you want YouTube, type in YouTube. Makes it way easier to find our stuff.
And YouTube is about to start picking up. That's the whole thing. The people, Garrett, the people have spoken, man. They have spoken.
Yeah.
And when I say people, I mean my mom and dad. And, of course, your Grammy have all said that we can't wait to see some original content out of you guys via the YouTube.
Well, they will not have to wait much longer, because right before we recorded this podcast, we actually did a quick little just playthrough of a extremely hard Super Mario Maker level. Yeah, it's known all over YouTube as the impossible level. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone beat it.
No.
I mean, obviously people have beat it because it says so. Like, it tells you how many people have beat it. But
obviously we did not beat it. I mean, but that was because we didn't want to make everybody look bad.
You'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, you have to check it out.
Maybe I beat it, maybe I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I plan on cutting that up and putting it up on YouTube, hopefully before the end of this week. So that way you guys can all see how badly we play video games.
Can you make me look thinner in that thing? Can
I'll
we
try.
Green screen it up, make me look like heck of buffed?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do.
That'd be pretty. Is that a possibility? Can we
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what
okay,
happens.
let's work some magic.
We'll
make me look like Schwarzenegger, you know?
Yeah. You want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Well, like a Austrian, you know? Like, maybe we could just make my neck and head look huge.
Maybe there's just like a video filter I can just overlay it and just make us both like, guys, click the Arnold Schwarzenegger button.
Make us look like all ripped.
We look super ripped and huge. Mario looks super ripped and huge.
You don't really have to do that much because I already am, you know, I mean, I know.
With you, it's more just like definition. Like if I just like take a little pencil and draw some lines on your arms and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It'd look like Schwarzenegger.
Because right now they're smoother than babies' butts. Yeah.
What do you say we get into the nerdy nudes?
It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
Alrighty, we have 3 items on the docket today, plus 1. There was some breaking news right before the recording.
What, Garrett? I hate it when you like throw that out at me and you don't allow me an opportunity to prepare. I'm just kidding. I love it when you throw me stuff I'm not prepared for, because then I just give you stuff back, and then you have to edit it out almost immediately.
Exactly. Yeah. First news story comes from IGN. Matt Kim over at IGN. Splinter Cell might come back in an unexpected way. So this is I don't know. It's was a pretty huge IP for Ubisoft. They made Splinter Cell games for a long time. You know, PS2, PS3, Xbox 360 era, and then they kind of dropped off the face of the earth. There hasn't been one Splinter Cell game for the new generation for Xbox One or PS4. So it's been like 9 years or so, or however old the PS4 is. I guess it's been a while.
When you say that they're coming back in a new way or a different way, are they coming out on like the Nintendo Wii U or something? Are they going backwards?
I hope not. Splinter Cell is my dad's favorite video game
I was just going to say I could smell Bill Morlang
and
all over that.
And if it came back on the Wii U, he'd probably like, kick a window out and jump out of it. But so here's just a quick little couple words that Matt Kim had to say from the article here. Despite not having a mainline game in some time, Ubisoft hasn't forgotten about Splinter Cell. Even Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot still talks about a possible return for Sam Fisher. Do you like that?
I like that a lot. I'm highly impressed.
Yves Guillemot.
You put like a little French accent on
Just
there.
wait until I get to the quote.
Oh.
Maybe I'll have you read it. Maybe you have a better French. We'll both try it. We'll both try it.
Okay.
But it might not be a traditional video game platform. Speaking with Chinese video game publication GamerSky, Guillemot spoke briefly about a possible new Splinter Cell game. However, he stressed that any new Splinter Cell title from Ubisoft would be in the form of an experiment on different devices. And then here's the quote.
Okay.
I just got really nervous all of a sudden. I was practicing earlier. It sounded pretty good, but
that
now
sounded
really...
really great right now. But I'm really worried. You said something about Chinese. Please do not do a Chinese impression.
No.
Those never go across well.
He's talking with a Chinese video game publication. Yves Guillemot is very much French.
Okay.
He has a very high pitched voice.
Oh, so he sounds like a French Kermit the Frog.
So in your head, you can kind of put a voice together because I want us both to try this.
Okay.
Are you ready for
I'm
this?
liking this. Yeah, let's go for it.
On Splinter Cell, there will be some new types of experiences. I can't do it. You're looking at me funny. You're looking at me.
I'm sorry. I just was looking at you funny because I'm like, well, you're doing it.
But more on different devices, Guillemot said in a video interview. So we are working a lot on the brand today to come back at one point. This
is good pod.
It sounded a lot better in the car. I'm not going to tell you I'm nervous out of my mind because you're looking at me the way you are.
You practiced this on the
I tell you what.
Woo! Dude, I'm loving it.
But I honestly like that. What I just did was garbage. It sounded really good earlier.
That sounded great.
Are you ready to do your take now? So here's let me read a little bit more and then I'll let you speak here. So Guillemot did not announce a new Splinter Cell game in the interview. Instead, he said that Ubisoft has to find the right experience to come back big. I'm now realizing there's no more quotes from Guillemot. The article I was reading was different. There's a different one. So how about you just read that same one that I read? Read it in French.
On Splinter Cell, there will be some new type.
He has a higher pitched voice.
We can't do that.
Not that.
Okay,
not
maybe
high.
this.
That's too high.
On Splinter Cell, there will be some type of new voice. Like his
Yeah,
German.
you're sounding more
Look,
German.
he's German. Yeah. Maybe make him a little Nazi. Maybe like that. On Splinter Cell, there'll be a new type of experiences, more on different devices. Edit that out.
No, that's staying in, sucker. Yeah. Well, there's our Yves Guillemot impressions. Mine was bad French, and JJ's was just German. So
German for some reason. I don't know why.
So Guillemot mentioning different. I took French in high school. I should be able to speak in a French accent a lot better. But to be honest, I don't remember one bit of what I learned. Spanish and French, I took like 3 years of Spanish and a year or two of French, and I can't remember one lick of it.
Oh, man.
Guillemot mentioning different devices seems to indicate that whatever Splinter Cell project Ubisoft is currently working on, it's not meant for traditional video game consoles. Instead, Guillemot's statement could be related to a report from earlier this year that said Facebook Oculus signed a deal with Ubisoft to bring Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed to Oculus VR. That would fit with Guillemot's statement, blah, 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 blah. Basically, the gist of this is, hey, Splinter Cell is coming back, but, and then in parentheses, unfortunately, because that's definitely what he's saying here, for you hardcore gamers, or at least hardcore fans of the franchise, it is not coming back to, say, PS4, Xbox One, or even next-gen consoles. It sounds like it's just going to be either a VR title or maybe a mobile title. Like all he says is that it's going to be a different experience, different device.
I picture right now at this moment, right now as he's listening to it, I picture Bill Morelang with his head in your mom's lap and like just laying there, just inconsolable, just sobbing, weeping openly, while your mom like tries to soothe him with that sweet melodic voice, saying stuff like, "Stop it, it's okay, stop crying, Bill. For crying out loud, it's just a stinking video game."
Yeah, it's probably exactly what's happening.
She's so lovely, your mother.
She's just so loving, so caring. There's nothing quite like her soothing voice,
I don't know what it is, like 2 packs a day or whatever.
Listening to her voice is like smoking 2 packs a day. It's fantastic.
It really is fantastic. Really, hi, Mrs. Morelang.
It really calms the nerves. But no, I'm super bummed about this because I love Splinter Cell as well. It's not my favorite game series, as you all know.
I just think it's funny your mom's 3 years younger than me, and I still have to call her Mrs. Morelang because I have that whole respect thing that I grew up with.
Yeah, it's a little strange, but I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am bummed because I guess I was hoping like, oh, you know what? We have one more year left in this generation. Maybe they'll sneak in a Splinter Cell or because remember we did a news article a couple months ago where they said that they were going to have 4 releases by March of next year. One of them was Ghost Recon, and I forget what the other one. Like, I think they've only announced 1 or 2. So I think there's still one more unannounced, as far as I know. I guess I haven't done my research since that article came out. But anyways, I really had hoped for something, or for them to even announce like, hey, it's going to be a launch title, PS5, Xbox, Scarlet, whatever that's going to be called. So to hear this is, I don't know, huge bummer because this is such a good game series, and to hear like, oh, it's coming to something else, and obviously that means VR or mobile, which sucks.
I feel like I come from an area where I have a hard time commenting on it because I never played any Splinter Cell games. And I know you've said before that your dad loved
You
those
have
games.
a 360. You could play them.
Okay, so they are on 360. So
Yes.
It was a previous generation console.
Yeah. It was.
Okay.
They started on PS2 and Xbox, and then they have. I don't even know how many games. They have a lot of games for like. I can probably see right here. Oh no, that's just Rainbow Six. Why is there Rainbow Six reviews for?
I'll have to look into that. The
On the
only
Splinter Cell page.
problem is that my son
there's quite a
punks
few of
me
them.
out while he plays Fortnite, and lately my younger daughter, she's 4. She's kind of been punking me out when I try to get in on the Xbox action. You know, like they're all edging me out, man. Like, you know, I never get a chance to play.
There are 7 games. So it's all the way from 2002 until Splinter Cell Blacklist came out in 2013.
What's the definitive game for you of that series?
I mean, they're all incredible. They all build on each other, like the story. Like, you don't have to play them all in order, but they do kind of, there's little bits here and that kind of build on it a little bit. I think my favorite actually would probably be, it had to be one of the 2 newer ones, Conviction or Blacklist. Conviction was cool because he gets, basically the organization he was part of with the U.S. government gets shut down, and then he becomes like a fugitive of the state, basically. And so, hence the name Conviction. And he goes totally like undercover, like, so a lot of the game you're wearing just normal street clothes and trying to blend in and doing these missions, and you don't have, the help of this government agency anymore. And it's pretty cool. You're basically running around doing missions that way, trying to figure out like, okay, how do you get out of this now? Actually, Double Agent, the one before that was on 360 and PS3 as well. That one was super good because you had the balance doing missions for your government agency, but then you also had the balance doing missions for this terrorist cell. So like you were doing these good missions, these bad missions, and you could actually kind of change the outcome of the game, whether like how many bad missions you did or like places you bombed or whatever, or like how many good missions you did, or you can keep it neutral. It's kind of a cool, especially back on Xbox 360, it was such a novel idea, like, oh, there's like different outcomes to this and different ways I can go about this and dialogue choices or whatever. Like it had been a while since I played this. I'm trying to remember everything about it, but it was a really cool kind of game where it's like, okay, I could be a good guy or bad guy here. Like you're playing for both sides.
Yeah, it actually sounds like a lot of fun.
You should get that. It's on 360.
Yeah, that's the great part about having that 360 is that the games are really inexpensive when you go to like the GameStop or you borrow them from Garrett. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't have 360 games. I mean, I did.
You're gonna have to get some so I can then borrow. That's kind of how that works.
Me, the one with no Xbox 360. You want me to? Okay, I get it.
Yeah. You're rich. You got what we call Grammy money. That's like
that's not. I don't have that.
That's what you told me. You said it's in the bag. The old lady's going to keep filtering up my way is one of the things you said.
You're so bad.
What?
I have not said these things.
Garrett.
You can't say stuff like that. She listens to the show.
I have a problem with honesty, Garrett.
You're not able to ever be honest. You have
some would say, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go on to this next news story. How about that?
Okay.
This comes from Business Insider. This is by Ben Gilbert. There's only one new Xbox coming in 2020. We are not working on a streaming-only console, says Xbox chief. So this comes from, like I said, Business Insider. They talked with Phil Spencer, Xbox head honcho over there. The reason this was kind of worthwhile putting on here, I thought, is because there was been articles over the last few months. Obviously, originally it was like, 2 consoles are coming out next year. It's going to be the Xbox Scarlet. It's going to be a streaming-only box. And then at E3, suddenly they stopped talking about consoles, plural. And their excuse at that point was, that's only because we were considering the discless Xbox One as one of those consoles, And everyone's like, yeah, right, okay. No one believed that for a second.
Yeah, so what do you think? Because there's a couple of different frames of thought on this. Is it a situation where they had every intention of coming out with a streaming console and they just didn't have the strength behind the console to support it? Or is it a matter of they were going to do it and they just kind of abandoned it?
So here's the deal. Here's now the new article. So they interviewed Phil Spencer here, and he went on and said the same thing. Technically, that is plural. We were using the plural because the discless Xbox version. And Spencer said with a laugh after I pushed him on the technicality he invoked. And then he says, right now, he said, we're focused on Project Scarlet and what we put on stage. So my thought is they had started something, like a streaming-only box, and then realized, I think it could have been one of two things. Either they realized, either the smart thing here, which is like, maybe we should just focus on one thing at a time and make sure like the Xbox Scarlet is really freaking good, and just like, and not like muddy the waters, because obviously the more consoles they have on the market, it's going to confuse people. Mm-hmm. Like around Christmas time, when you're like, hey Grammy, I want an Xbox Scarlet, I want the new Xbox, and then not my Grammy, but if another Grammy went out.
I noticed how you went right there to Grammy and her money. Look at Garrett. You are such a horrible human being. Grammy deserves love, not for her money.
If another grandparent went out.
Another grandparent. Look at where your
not
mind
my grandparent.
is.
This is your grandparent now.
My grandparents are dead, Garrett. You're heartless. They all died already. Gosh, Garrett.
Okay.
If I only had a Grammy that could... What?
Just let me finish.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Obviously, people are going to go out. Parents, grandparents, whoever may be the person in your life that buys you game consoles.
Garrett's grandma.
It's going to be easy to get confused when there's like 2 or 3 boxes on the shelf. It's like, okay, which one am I getting? Unless they ask the person.
I just gave him all 3 of them. Garrett's such a good boy. What?
You're the worst. And anyways, yeah, so people are going to show up. And even if they ask the GameStop employees, they show up and they're like, hey, like, which one should I buy? They're going to be like, well, what kind of gaming does your kid do? And the parent's going to be like, I don't know, like they like Fortnite. Right. And they're going to be like, oh, well, this one's cheaper and blah, blah, blah. Or get this really expensive one. And I don't know, I can just see where it's going to be really confusing and really hard to like differentiate. So I think that's going to be like, I think either that's the reason they did it, or Xbox just realized, oh, shoot, we have a year before that new Xbox comes out. Maybe we need to like stop diverting our attention and just focus on the one, so we're not like having to delay the release date. Like, so it could be either of those two. Either they were like being smart and they're like, let's not muddy the waters, or they realized like, oh shoot, this is just distracting us, and now we're behind on developing the Xbox Scarlet.
Yeah, I actually think that's a really interesting way to look at it, because when you're focusing all of your energy in one direction, it's a lot easier to steer that ship. So when they were trying to do too many things, it would have been really confusing for not just for your grandmother, for instance, but like for anybody who'd go and buy a console. Why not just put all of your eggs into one basket and hope the heck that nobody crushes the basket?
Right. Yeah, so that's kind of both. I guess it's a pretty definitive answer, because even after what he said at E3, where people were like, wait, why did you say just one? Like you were talking like, and he said the same thing. He's like, oh, we weren't talking about a streaming box. We were talking about the discless Xbox One, and that already came out. Everyone's like, yeah, I don't know about that. At least now he's kind of admitting like, okay, sure. Like, well, I mean, he doesn't outright say, yeah, we had something, but he does say, at this point, we're focused just on, which kind of makes you think, oh, obviously they're focusing on something else. Now they're just focusing on this.
And there could very well be, I honestly believe that there's a place for a digital future. And we are getting closer and closer to that. I mean, look at like Google Stadia. We're getting towards that. I don't think we're all the way there yet. So, but it'll come. It'll just come in its own time.
Yeah. No,
Does this make me want to like run out and go get a Scarlet? Nah, not so much. Not until they have like exclusive games.
I just scrolled down on the Business Insider article, and there's like all that like ads at the bottom, and one of them is a picture of a dog pooping. I don't know why it's there. It got really distracting.
I accidentally sent that to you. That's actually from my personal collection.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
Cool. Yeah, so only one Xbox coming next year. So save up your pennies and get that big dog, I guess.
The big dog taking a crap. Is that what you're...
No, that's not what I was, but thanks for bringing that back.
Oh, you bet, yeah.
Okay, the next news story here, I'm excited for. JJ is probably not as excited, but that's only because he hasn't seen the rest of it. He's only watched like the worst Star Wars movie. He watched episode 1 and then he kind of stopped.
Yeah.
So he needs to watch more to really appreciate this. But from Deadline, this is by Dino Ray Ramos and Jeff Boucher.
Look at you with more of the French. You're doing pretty good, kid. You really did take French in high school.
The only reason I knew how to pronounce Boucher is because the car dealership I worked at in Wisconsin when I lived there for like 5 years, it was Boucher car dealership.
Yeah, it's actually pronounced Boucher.
No,
I know.
Definitely not. No. So yeah, otherwise I would have been like Boucher? Like what? Anyways, a headline here. Ewan McGregor may return as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Disney Plus series. Ewan McGregor may be picking up his lightsaber again. This 48-year-old Scottish actor is in talks about reprising his role as a heartfelt but headstrong Jedi Master known as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a yet-to-be-titled Disney Plus series. Deadline has confirmed. Details about the series following the Jedi Master are being kept under wraps. McGregor played the younger version of the wise but irascible, is that a word? I've never heard that word before. Star Wars icon in the 3 prequel films, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. McGregor also revisited the role to make a voice-only cameo in the Star Wars The Fork Awakens.
Now that is a movie I'd want to go see.
Oh, no. Some sort of weird, like, food Star Wars.
Yeah, dude. Why did I get so excited right now?
Plans to produce
The Fork Awakens.
The Fork Awakens. Plans to produce a standalone Kenobi feature film morphed into the current plan for a big-budget series for Disney+, just as a discussion of a Boba Fett film gave way to the similarly spirited The Mandalorian series. So, yeah, I'm super stoked about this. I think... Ewan McGregor was incredible as Obi-Wan. I mean, obviously, Alec Guinness is like legendary as Obi-Wan in his older years. But I don't know, like Ewan McGregor, even with all like the crappy like lines they gave him, like as an actor, like he killed it. Like I feel like he even like, yeah, they wrote terrible lines, but he still was able to deliver them with such like conviction, and like his acting was great. And I just feel like he was dealt every bad card in the deck, and he still like did such a good job in those first 3 movies.
Well, I love Ewan McGregor. He's a phenomenal actor. I've never seen any of the Star Wars movies, and I think that we've missed the boat. Here's the deal, Disney. Forget this stuff. Nobody wants to see Star Wars movies. Here's what I think you guys should go ahead and do. Why don't you make a TV series on this Disney Plus streaming service based on Moulin Rouge? That's another Ewan McGregor show that was phenomenal with Nicole Kidman. You know, the one where it was all musicals and stuff like that?
No.
Are you serious? You never saw Moulin Rouge? Look, it's another French word.
No.
It's a musical. Your gift is my song. And this one's for you.
Careful,
And
don't
you
sing too
can
much. We don't have the money to pay for the
everybody.
rights for these.
Oh, yeah. No, come on, dude, seriously?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I've heard the name of that, whatever you just said, Moulin Rouge.
Moulin Rouge. See, you said it beautifully. It was very French when you said it.
See, now you're doing a French accent. Why couldn't you do that?
Because earlier it sounded so much better doing the German for some reason. I don't know why. It's so funny. That to me, you might not laugh, but I laugh at it.
Yeah. But no, I'm super stoked for this. I love more Star Wars. I'm excited for the final Star Wars movies coming out this December. But I'm even more stoked for Disney Plus. There's going to be that Boba Fett TV show. There's going to be now possibly Obi-Wan TV show. Yeah, I can never get enough Star Wars in my life. I love it. I'm a Star Wars boy.
I thought you were a super gamer boy.
Before I was a super gamer boy, though, I was a Star Wars boy. Yeah.
Okay.
Deep down inside. And my
way deep.
ooey gooey core.
I bet it kind of is gooey.
Like caramely,
Wait.
chocolatey.
Why is there chocolate in there? Okay.
I don't know.
I'm hungry now.
Me too. Maybe that's why I said that. Yeah, that is that. And now for breaking news. Breaking news. Welcome to the Super Gamer Boys newsroom, WCNSGB. We are bringing you the hot scoops coming from Gamescom this week in Germany.
It's stinking and steaming right now.
Gamescom so coming in hot from Germany, JJ's favorite country.
My favorite.
We have this headline from IGN. Death Stranding. New gameplay shown off includes urination mechanic.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so Hideo Kojima got on stage with his best buddy, Jeff Keighley. Also, you may know him as a host of the Video Game Awards that happen every year. They got on stage and released, it was about 5 or 6 minutes of actual gameplay footage, which we finished watching that and we're like, well, we're more confused now than we were before. And then there is about a 5 or 6 minute trailer for one of the characters called Deadman, played by Guillermo del Toro. And then there was another 5 or 6 minute long trailer. I don't even think it's that long. It's maybe like 2 minutes at tops. A new character trailer for one of the character named Mama, which is, I forget the actor who's playing Mama.
Bill Hader.
Nope, definitely not.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Bill Hader.
No, definitely
Kirsten
not.
Dunst.
No, okay. Just give me 1 second. Okay?
Meg Ryan.
Margaret Qualley.
No, I don't think it is.
Yep, because I just looked it up. She was in the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that new Tarantino movie that just came out. Anyways, yeah, so that's they released 3 new videos, 5 minutes of gameplay, 5-minute Deadman trailer, about 2 minute long Mama trailer. And yeah, after every video, we're like, what? Like, what is happening?
That was the exact reaction.
What is going on? Like, we would look at each other and just like JJ was like drooling on one corner of his mouth and like my eye was twitching. I'm like, what did we just watch?
I have a problem with
am I high right
anyway.
now?
Yeah.
So just a quick rundown, because because we just read that headline that says includes urination mechanic. That is literally the first thing you see in the gameplay footage. It starts off with him, he's sleeping, sitting on the ground in the middle of this field, backpack strapped to his back, baby on his front, and it says press circle to wake up. He presses circle, he stands up. You see the person, whoever's playing the game, goes into this in-game menu. You see a heads-up display pop up. And then at the very top, similar like a weapons wheel of what you'd see in like, I don't know, any other shooter game like Borderlands, or I don't know why I said Borderlands, because I don't think Borderlands has a weapon wheel.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead, yeah, that's more like it. And anyways, instead of a weapon being at the top, it said urinate. And it had a number next to it that said how many milliliters of urine were in your bladder. And basically,
it's the most unusual gameplay aspect I've ever seen.
So he selects it, and then Norman Reedus proceeds to urinate. They never show his private parts. They even show that in the game. Like, I don't know if you noticed it in the video.
That he moves,
they
they
started moving the camera angle, like to try to see his front.
But the camera moves with the camera.
Yeah, as the camera moved, all of a sudden he would move with the camera, like, so you could never see his little buddy down there. But
we've sunk to new lows.
So at that moment we were both like, okay, cool. Well, then once he finishes urinating, a mushroom popped out of the ground. I don't know what that's about. They didn't really address it in the video. All of a sudden a mushroom pops up. He makes a comment to himself like, "Oh, empty. The tank's all empty," or something like that. It's like, cool, Norman, you're killing it. And then he walks off. And then the rest of the gameplay trailer kind of is showing maybe what looks like the very tail end of a mission. One of the missions that you had to complete, like one of the packages you had to deliver. So he actually goes up to this base, like you see this little platform up on the side of this mountain. So he pulls out the ladder that you saw in an earlier trailer, climb up this mountain, gets to the top, puts a package into a little chute, goes down. There's like a hologram dude, which after he inputs the package, we realize it comes in a little clear. It starts out like really distorted and fuzzy. It clears up, and you realize, oh, it's Jeff Keighley. Like they put Jeff Keighley in the game, which is the guy interviewing Kojima. So that's kind of cool. But anyways, he takes off his necklace as well, because this hologram is saying like, oh, we want to join the network now. We want to become part of the United Cities of America. So that is the new kind of, I don't know, country that's being put in place now. Instead of United States, now United Cities. That's about the only major story thing I picked up from from these trailers. And so he puts his necklace that has all like the math equations and science and like all these things for like forces of nature and different things like that, like laws of physics and stuff. He throws it on this little scanner, and then it's like link complete, blah blah blah, whatever. I don't know. It was so confusing. It's something that I recommend everyone go watch, obviously, if you're into Death Stranding, but it was a little strange.
It's extremely interesting. One aspect that was in the footage that we saw that was kind of crazy for me was when he goes to leave the little base. Remember, he had climbed up the ladder. Well, this time around, Kojima used the character to fall off of the cliff.
Oh, yeah. So after he finished that mission.
Right.
Yeah.
And when he did so, the baby that he's carrying around started crying like crazy. And then one of the aspects of gameplay was to try to calm the baby.
To soothe the baby, yeah.
To get it to stop crying.
That was the most bizarre thing. Yeah, all of a sudden he starts walking, and the reason he falls off the cliff is like the way they show it is like he's like turning and waving but still walking forward, and then all of a sudden, because he's waving to this hologram, which is a little weird, he falls down this cliff and like gets super hurt, and then the baby starts like wah, 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 wah.
Your baby impression is better than your French, dude. Like, that's pretty good.
Maybe I'll stick with baby
You're
impressions.
good at whining.
Thanks. And then that's what it says. It's like press circle to soothe baby or whatever, and you like hit the button, you pulls the baby off all the tubes, disconnects, and he's holding it in front of him so you can see his face. And I think it showed the controls. You actually like shake the controller to like soothe the baby and stuff. So there's gonna be motion controls in the game. That's what it's made it seem like, anyways. I don't know. I don't know. It was such a strange thing. I'm like, oh, cool. So it's just like a babysitter simulator.
Yeah, it looks so unique.
Basically, this game is going to be like a UPS, like FedEx, and babysitter simulator. That's what you're delivering packages and taking care of this baby, apparently.
It honestly makes no sense whatsoever. Everything is so disjointed, but of course we're only being given little pieces. He's already so strange anyway with how he thinks and how unique and different he makes his games.
Yeah, and then we're just getting these random bits and pieces.
Yeah. It's extremely confusing, but it does make you want to play it. It really does, because it's like, I got to figure this out.
Only just to try to figure it out for myself, because I'm like, there has to be some rhyme or reason here. Like, it can't actually be this discombobulated, can it?
It's Kojima. It might. It very well might.
Yeah, well, we will see. I think my favorite game mechanic is definitely the urinating, so I'm just going to pee all over the United States. How about that?
United Cities.
Sorry. But yeah, and then obviously there's a mama trailer which basically showed her there's a ghost baby, which generally are bad and kill people. But but in this trailer, it's good, and it's her baby, apparently. They don't really describe it much. They're just like, hey, like he starts freaking out, like he's gonna like run away, and she's like, no, it's okay. And then the baby like floats down. You can't really see it. It's like invisible, but you can sort of see like the little blur. Floats down into her arm. She holds it, soothes it, kind of like is like holding it really close to her chest. And she's like, oh, all full. And then like lets go of the baby, and the baby floats away, and it's stopped crying, and it's happy now. And then she goes on to explain basically like how, I just fed my baby. Like I still produce milk, even though like I don't have an actual baby. Like, I don't know, the body still keeps doing what's doing. And I'm like, okay, this is a strange conversation to have. Like, so we just watched her feed her baby. Like, obviously she was fully clothed and holding an invisible baby, but it's like, what is happening? What kind of weird supernatural, like, that's what I'm really curious about. Is like, obviously this game is going super heavy on like some sort of supernatural, because there's like all these invisible ghost things everywhere.
Yeah,
like that's what I want to figure out, is what is the supernatural aspect that Kojima's thrown in there.
I rewound it twice and I never saw nipple. So I'm just saying, like, I mean, well, because I wanted to know if it was accurate to real life. That's why I did that.
Okay, yeah, I bet. And then the other trailer was about Dead Man. And Dead Man goes on to explain kind of how the BBs work, which is what they call the babies. They're called bridge babies, BBs. And that made even less sense. Like, he's like, oh, bridge babies are actually, their actual mothers are in comas back in the capital, but they're basically brain dead, but they're still alive. But we have to keep them alive because the babies are still attached to them. And sometimes the babies get agitated, so we have to hook them up to this computer, so we can update their firmware. And what that means is like, oh, when we say updating their firmware, really they're reconnecting with their mother's womb, which is still intact back in the capital. Like the mother's still pregnant back in the capital in a coma, and but the baby's been ripped out, and they're using them as like little metal detectors for those ghost things.
The longest that the babies have ever lasted outside of the womb like that has been 1 year.
1 year, and then they usually die.
Yeah,
it's like, what the heck? Like,
it's just crazy. It's just, honest to God, it
like
makes no sense.
We sound like madmen here.
Yeah,
but this is all video you could go watch on YouTube right now in a game you can play coming. What is it? This November?
Oh, it's November.
Man, I am very curious. November 8th, 2019, PlayStation 4. Go check it out, because it's going to be a doozy. That is for sure. So that was our breaking news. Thanks for tuning in to WCNSGB. I forgot what letters I said for our news station.
It doesn't matter. Nobody knows.
Well,
you could have made anything up right now.
Okay.
He's going to compose a beautiful theme next time for that.
Yeah, I'm going to edit that in.
Yeah. You make it sound all like it was...
Just like I did for our last breaking news thing. Remember I added a little like radio beeps? Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. I do remember that.
Maybe I'll throw that in this one too.
I know you always throw in beeps when you curse and you say bad words.
Well, that's different. I love how last week you were like, dude, you like beat me out and I didn't even say a bad word. I'm like, no, you did. He's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, dude, like I listened to the recording like
several times
to make sure, because it could have gone either way. I'm like, no, you definitely said.
Well, I was doing a Scottish accent, and in that accent, sometimes you need to just drop one. I just dropped it, and you caught it, and you just said, "Whoa!" Yeah. I said, I didn't say the full," and you said, "Oh, no, you did." Okay, apparently I did.
Yeah. Well, guys, sorry to disappoint, but we have no new releases. I mean, there was new releases this week, but none that are worth mentioning.
Like, I looked Xbox One.
No, not even that. No. I was looking through. I'm like, I've never like they were all like smaller indie games or like random DLC for games I've never heard of or never played. So it's just like, and that's kind of the whole point of new releases. Is it's just going to be stuff like that we are excited for, we are interested in, and there was nothing. I think there's only like 3 things on the list, and none of it was anything that I'd had any care for. What's up, guys? This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Podcoin. Do you like to listen to Super Gamer Boys? Well, the Podcoin app pays you to listen to this podcast and every other podcast out there. It's the podcast player that pays. Just get the Podcoin app on your iPhone or Android device. It's free, it's super easy to use, and you can use the Podcoin app to earn Podcoin to claim gift cards or donate to charity. It's amazing how it works, and it turns your podcast listening into charity. Or if you just want to get some Amazon or Starbucks gift cards, it's pretty great. I use it every day now, listening to all of my favorite podcasts, even my own, to rack up those Podcoins. I'm getting pretty close to getting my own rewards now. I love it, and it's super easy to use. You can get it from the App Store or the Android Store today. Seriously, just go get the Podcoin app, and if you use our invite code, GamerBoys, you'll get 300 Podcoin just for signing up if you use my code. That's 300 Podcoin just for signing up if you use our code, GamerBoys. It's GamerBoys. Go give the Podcoin app a try. And remember, it's a podcast player that pays. So let's get into what you're playing. What you been playing, JJ?
I talked about it earlier today. I kind of spoiled it like really hard. Well, I busted out because my buddy Brent, he came in and said, "What are we playing?" And I said, "Well, let's put on Uncharted 4 because I love that." And it's so fun and interesting, and whenever somebody doesn't have a whole lot of video game knowledge, it's one of those cool games that it showcases how good the graphics are and some of the gameplay, the jumping and the running and the hanging off of stuff. It's just so much fun, and it's like the perfect game to show somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of video game experience.
Yeah.
To show them what it's capable of and how fun it can be. And it's got just a great story for the characters and stuff like that. So we were played that for like an hour, and then also busted out just a huge amount of Super Paper Mario. I didn't really play Super Paper Mario as much as I watched my family all playing it and kind of hung out together as a family while they were playing, running around and doing it. And have you ever played Paper Mario?
I played on the GameCube. It was Paper Mario, The 1,000-Year Door, but I never played the one on Wii. I'm looking it up. What's it called? It's called
Super Paper Mario.
Super Paper Mario. Okay, because on GameCube it's just called Paper Mario, The 1,000-Year Door or whatever. So yeah, that's interesting. On Wii is Super Paper Mario. Yeah,
it's so much fun.
Never played that.
And then the challenge was thrown down. The gauntlet was laid as Janet thoroughly trounced me on Dr. Mario. She beat me so bad that I had a hard time sitting down from her spanking that she gave me.
Jeez.
No, I'm serious. She beat me so bad I had to contemplate covering up the eyeshadow over my eyes to cover the bruises and stuff from just getting beat up by her so bad.
It's so horrible.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible how bad she beat me.
Oh, man.
She beat me like Ike did Tina Turner, buddy.
Okay.
Was that too far? Was that going over the line?
No. That's crazy. You'd think by now you'd be good at Dr. Mario.
Oh.
Like you've played enough and you've gotten beat enough. You'd think you'd learn like how to play.
No, I'm pretty good. I'm fairly good at Dr. Mario. Here's the thing. I'm better at the trash talking. Oh, yeah. The trash talking is epic.
The trash talking doesn't win you games.
It does not. No, yeah. I learned that the hard way. I learned that the hard way. No, the thing is that she just plays on a whole different level. She really, truly does. I'm saying something positive about my wife right now and about her superior Dr. Mario skills because I'm hoping that somebody's going to listen to this podcast and say, "Oh man, he was just saying so many positive things about you. God, he loves you so much." And he admitted in public that you whipped him thoroughly on one video game that's like super old that nobody ever plays.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if there's much on the Venn diagram of, people listening to the podcast to people who are going to call your wife up and say that. But we'll see. You never know.
Yeah, if you guys could reach out to her, she is at...
No, definitely doesn't have a Twitter.
She doesn't have Twitter.
I mean, you barely have a Twitter.
I really barely do have a Twitter.
Yeah, I did not play any games this last week.
What?
I'm a terrible video game podcast host.
Well, that's not true. You did play a little bit because we played the Nintendo Switch right before.
We played that impossible level,
Yeah.
which I don't want to talk about too much, though, because I'm going to put it
ruin
on YouTube.
It. Yeah, watch it on YouTube.
Other than that 10 minutes that we spent playing, I played 0 video games this past week. Like, not even like for like a minute. Nothing. I didn't turn on my PlayStation or Switch once this last week.
Lean forward here. Let me touch your. Are you okay?
Dude,
you feel a little bit warm.
It's the beans.
Oh, well, that makes sense. that accounts for some of the smell in here. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I didn't really want to say something, but
I actually thought it was me.
Well, that's why I didn't want to say anything because I figured
you're pretty cool. I was like, did I do that? Okay, all right.
No, I did not. It was just a busy week. Like Monday we recorded, Tuesday I edited. Well, not the podcast. I edited a video for work. Wednesday, I forget. Like every night there was either like we were just exhausted, so we went to bed early, or just like vegged out and watched a TV show. We've been watching this show. We watch it for a while now, but I've just never talked about it. There's a show on Hulu. It's hilarious. Like it's really stupid, but it's hilarious. Called Life in Pieces.
I never heard of it.
Okay. It is, I don't know what channel it was. It was originally on CBS, apparently. It says here, according to Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia. Called Life in Pieces. Actually had pretty good ratings. I'm kind of surprised. 7.9 out of 10, 95% liked it. Yeah, it is accomplished actors Diane Wiest and James Brolin. Stars heads of a large, happy family in which each member is approaching different milestones. Their eldest daughter, Heather, blah, blah, blah. Basically, it's a super dysfunctional, crazy family that are just, and every episode is like kind of split up into 4 vignettes. So it's like one episode is really like 4 mini episodes of like different things going on in different people's lives. Like the first little vignette might be on the youngest son and his wife and their little like 1-year-old daughter. And then the next episode is about the parents, and the next one's about, whatever. It goes through the entire family that way. And it is just so hilarious interactions. It has what's his name? It's Tom Hanks. No, that's not the name I wanted to say. It's Tom Hanks' son is in it. As Colin Hanks, he plays the son Greg. And he's hilarious in it. Have you? I don't know if Colin Hanks.
I've never.
I don't know if it's Tom Hanks' son, Colin Hanks. He hasn't really. Let's see. He was in King Kong.
I know who Colin Hanks is.
Oh, you know who he is?
I've seen him in a couple of things. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like hilarious in this show. So definitely check that out if you're looking for just like a stupid show, because it's a type of show where you can just watch one episode. They're like it's like 20 minutes or something. So it's like each vignette's only like 5 minutes long, and you can stop whenever you want. You don't have to worry about like, oh, am I missing something? It's just like fun little like stupid like peeks in these people's lives, and it's hilarious.
And you said it's
on Hulu.
Life in Pieces?
Yeah, Life in Pieces.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
And then the other thing I've been doing, since I haven't been playing the video games, I was like, you know what? I don't feel like looking at a screen this weekend. I feel like sitting down, breaking out my old Warhammer minis, and painting some little miniatures. So that's what I did. I wanted to do something relaxing without looking at a screen.
I know that my good friend Isaac, who listens to this show, is right now chuckling to himself at you and your little minis.
Why do you think that?
I know for a fact.
Just because you met Isaac for the first time today.
We became best friends.
Doesn't mean that you know Isaac.
No, I know him. I wouldn't say I know him biblically, but I know him. We became very good. He's my BFF.
Yeah, speaking of, you guys are a couple of jerks. I got that text from Isaac and totally fell for it. And then later he called me like, yeah, I would totally screwing with you. I'm like, you guys suck so bad.
Yeah, earlier today I met one of our awesome listeners to the podcast who happens to be a friend of Garrett's. I did a service at a business where Isaac came up and he's like, "Are you JJ?" And I've never seen a kid smile so much. And I was like, okay, either I owe him money and he's going to beat me up right now for this money because he's a tall guy, like deceptively tall. Or I'm going to have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not, which that's perfectly fine and normal by my standards. I always thought about just this thing. No, I am not. I'm William. I'm the best guy. So he immediately just started talking with me. We just had a great time. He's an awesome dude. Thank you so much. He gave me a LaCroix out of the fridge, and it was more than room temperature cold. Very nice. And I said, hey, can you do me a favor? I have something that Garrett completely hates. Anytime I do one of his services, Garrett hates it when I go above and beyond and put in a little bit extra work, put in a little extra effort. Garrett absolutely despises it like the plague if I do so. Like I've had Garrett.
Because then I go back to do the service and they expect that every time. I'm like, if you want that every time, you're going to pay for it. Like I'm not going to do that every time. I don't have time. Time is money.
What about the customers when you show up and they're like, wait, you're not JJ? Well, do you do impressions?
That happens a lot too, where they're just like, wait, you're not JJ. Like we were expecting to have JJ. I'm like, oh, sorry, sucks to suck,
Are you funny?
Yeah, they always ask that. Are you funny? Do you do impressions? I'm like, nope. I just kill bugs, okay? So let me do my thing and go home, please. But no, it drives me nuts. So yeah, you had Isaac text me. Let me read the text right here. He says, so I just met JJ. He cleaned every ounce of our shop. My boss actually tipped him. He's a national treasure. Dude, I should have been tipped off when he said that you're a national treasure. Like, obviously, that was a little over the top.
I might have put those words into his mouth. No, that actually was all Isaac. That was all Isaac. Very proud.
And I said, yeah, he called me and asked me what we were supposed to do over there. And when I told him, he was like, oh, well, hey, you have your work cut out for you next time. LOL. See, he makes my life so hard.
The best part of all is that we do that with each other. You and I will call each other and say, hey, what's up with this service? Hey, like, what are we supposed to do? Because you don't want to do too much. You're like, hey, what is expected? I don't want to, like, do the neighbor's house and the neighbor on the other side's house because I don't know where to stop. How long do you normally take? Because if I spend 20 extra minutes at this place, they're going to be like, hey, the other guy's here for, like, 5 minutes and he's gone. So we want to try to be consistent. So that's why I said, oh, Isaac, please. Isaac. And he was like, this is what I live for. Isaac, you're the man.
Isaac, I thought we were friends.
No, he's my friend.
I thought I trusted you.
It's my BFF. I trust you, Isaac.
Well, anyways, I painted my little Warhammer guys, and
you guys got to see this.
It's pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet.
I actually posted the photos on the Discord, so if you go to supergamerboys.com/Discord, you can see pictures of it.
I like that it's such fun little detail. Like, in all honesty, I was commenting on it earlier. I knew I was going to tease you and give you a hard time about it, but you have a really steady hand, man. There are some fine points in this figurine that you've painted that I look like a 2-year-old trying to, like, stay in the lines, coloring. I would have never been able to do that. So my hat's off to you.
What do you mean? My Shep stays in the lines just fine when he draws.
But he's smarter than me.
He's only like 20 months old.
But he's smarter than me.
Okay. Yeah. No, but I just had a blast because it was like I said, it had been such a long week, and I had already not played any games all week. I'm like, I don't feel like pulling out my Switch and sitting in front of a screen like shutting down, or I don't feel like sitting in front of the TV and playing PlayStation. Like, I don't know.
First world problems, Garrett.
It was just like such a strange thing. Like, I don't have that often, but it just hit me where I'm like, I don't want to stare at the blue light. It kills you. So I'm like, I'm going to do something that's more, just analog, less digital, more just relaxing, really. As relaxing as video games are, it's, stressful on the body, staring at that screen. So I'm like, I'm just going to sit under a nice, like, warm lamp and do my thing. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It took me 8 hours to do this one guy, though. So, but granted, I think I told you earlier, a lot of that was spent, like, getting it back in the groove. It's been like 9 or 10 years since I've painted Warhammer miniatures. I used to do it a ton back in the day when I was like in high school, and then through some unfortunate events, I lost all of my Warhammer figurines. I had
a bully beat him up and threw them all away, and then took his lunch money.
No, it was actually we were moving out here to California, 2015, and we did not have room in the car because we didn't bring a U-Haul trailer when we moved out here.
You mean Trudy turned right around and said, "You ain't taking that crap.
Everything.
Leave it here in the box."
We only brought everything that fit in our Subaru. We had a Subaru out back, so anything that fit in the back, that's what we brought to California because we didn't have money to rent a U-Haul or whatever.
Was it conveniently where she made you leave all of your stuff?
Well, so
he's nodding his head yes right now. I wish there was footage of this. You literally nodded your head yes.
So here's the catch though. I didn't leave it in Wisconsin. What happened is I had a friend who also lived in Wisconsin, but he had family in New York near where I was from in New York. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna leave this box of about $400 or $500 of Warhammer stuff with you. The next time you go see your family in New York, leave it with them. My brother, he lives in New York. He'll come pick it up. Then the next time we come to New York to visit, it'll be like a whole chain, like kind of like playing telephone, but with this box of expensive miniatures.
Hey, where are those miniatures at, buddy?
So my buddy
changed his name, ran to Mexico.
He took them home to his house, and then I got a text later saying, "Yep, I took him to New York and dropped him off at my parents' house." And then my brother. I don't know whose fault it was, whether it was my brother's or the parents' fault, but basically there was never any connection made, and here they sit. They're probably in like his parents' basement, like molding and just going bad. Oh, man. And that was 4 years ago.
Sounds like the Super Gamer Boys need to go on a road trip to New York, and we could film the whole adventure.
Kick in my friend's parents' door.
Dude.
Yeah.
I could see this being a feature film where the Super Gamer Boys go to New York.
Yeah.
And like we get in the car, the two of us locked in there, nothing but Taco Bell and like Nintendo Switch and vape pens and what? And Grammy's money, because Grammy will help fund.
Yeah, we need someone to bankroll this thing.
Yeah. Grammy, we need help.
So yeah, so if anyone lives near Buffalo, New York, and has and knows a way to get hold of my friend's parents, you can have
friend's
some free.
Parents is what you got to look them up under.
You can have some free Warhammer miniatures, I guess, unless you would be so kind to mail them to me, but it'd probably be pretty expensive. Yeah, I was so bummed, and even to this day, I've tried to get a hold of that friend because we're like still friends on Facebook. I don't have his phone number anymore, but I've tried messaging him on Facebook.
He's blocked you.
No response. I'm like, cool.
Oh yeah, he's starting a new life with those figures, man.
So yeah, this was from a set. I started from scratch. I think I talked about it over Christmas time. My brother got it for me because he felt so guilty, so bad about the whole situation. I'm like, it's really not that big of a deal. Like that was like 4 years ago. Like it's whatever. Like
I've cried enough tears. I'm dried out now, Jake. I got nothing left, Jake.
I seriously no joke. But I mean, it's still like when I got that, it was such an awesome Christmas gift. Like even though I was like, hey, you didn't really have to. I was like, this is pretty freaking awesome. So now that I'm getting back into painting it and getting back in the swing of like what I was getting at before, it took a while to get back in the groove of painting again because it's like. It's not like riding a bike. You don't just pick it up and go. Like this took me 8 hours to figure out. But it was like figuring out, remembering techniques. It was also figuring out like, okay, what color palette do I want? All that stuff. So
that's awesome. See, I actually, when you told me that you spent 8 hours on it, I was thinking that would be kind of therapeutic, but I would do it all one color and like spray paint it, and I could do like 10 of them.
That was one of the steps involved in this. I had to undercoat it with a flat black paint.
Oh, so you did?
That was step one was putting it together. Step two was undercoating with spray paint.
There you go.
But then you got to make it look pretty.
You don't really
look how badass this Space Marine looks.
It looks pretty cool.
Like the cool blue, like the gold trim around. Like he looks very like he's fighting for the Emperor's army. He's got this red glowing night vision. Like his eyes
I don't
or
see red glow, and everything looks blue. And there's like you basically painted his helmet gold. So that's
It's
pretty much
not it at all.
That's what I'm seeing. It's like, it
that's
looks like
because
a
you need
Smurf
glasses.
with a gold hat on. He looks like Papa Smurf.
That's because you need glasses, though.
I might really need to get some
Like,
glasses.
honestly, like when I ride with you in your van, I'm not going to lie, it's scary. It's a little scary.
What are you talking
It's
about?
a little scary.
I ride by feel. I'm just feel the road.
That's scary. Cool. Well, let's get into the question of the show here. So this comes from numero uno listener here, our number one fan, our number one in our hearts, Chloe McConnell.
Chloe McConnell is amazing. She walked right past me at the Nob Hill supermarket the other day and told me that she sent this in. She walked right past me as she was staring blankly ahead, not looking at me. And I was like, I think that's Chloe. So then I was like, hey, and I tried to scare her and stuff like that. Yeah, it was awesome. And yeah, Chloe is so amazing. And she told me, yeah, I sent a question, and I just love your guys' show. And JJ, you were so hilarious and good looking and like really smart and like just the most amazing human being on planet Earth. And I was like, thank you, Chloe. You're totally right. I am. And she's like, Garrett's okay too.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Not a lot of people like me, apparently. Not even my own friends, Isaac. So the question is, actually, I'm only going to read half of this because now I'm realizing it's kind of two questions. And since no one else is writing in listener questions, we need to spread this out as much as we possibly can. So here is the question for now. What is the worst game you guys ever played?
Oh, okay. There was a documentary. There's a documentary about the worst game of all time. A lot of people feel like the worst game of all time was Atari's E.T. I never remember playing it. I know I did when I was a kid. I remember not liking it very much, but I just don't remember much about it. There's not much to it. The game that stands out for me as being the crappiest game I've ever played was a game that I went into really having hope. The Karate Kid on the Nintendo Entertainment System. That game sucks so bad. It's ridiculously hard, like crazy hard. There's no reason for it to be that hard. And the game just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's like a Kojima game back in the 80s.
Did any of those NES games make a lot of sense, though?
No, there was a whole lot of
I feel like a lot of
sense.
them, like, yeah, maybe they're kind of fun to screw around in, but none of them really, like, made sense, I feel like.
No, there was a lot of not making sense, but there was a whole lot of fun, too.
Yeah.
Paperboy, Super Mario Brothers,
Paperboy is not a good game.
Not really, no.
That's a terrible game.
It's a horrible game.
But, no, I actually had never played. I think I've seen gameplay footage of E.T. like on YouTube or something. I've seen that, and because I've heard it called that, like, oh, it's the worst game. But I've never. You were talking about a documentary earlier. I'm like,
yeah. Oh,
I need to check that out. Like, I did not realize it was that big of a deal that it was such a bad game or whatever.
The documentary, I believe, entails the E.T. story. But it's more about like the end of Atari, like the rise of Atari and like how it fell, and at the end, and how the rumors about there being millions of copies of ET that were buried in the desert, but in reality, there actually was thousands of ET games that were buried at a landfill because there was so many that were left on shelves that weren't able to be sold.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, and they dug them up as part of like the 35 years later or whatever
it's crazy
it was.
to think that it was cheaper just to throw them in a landfill than to like keep them, like even sell them for a penny. Like they could have just like sold them for a penny, but instead they're just like, no, not even worth it. Throw them in a dumpster. Okay, so the worst game I ever played. I have two answers here. I was struggling earlier, and then halfway through the show, I thought of another one. But so the first one I came up with earlier was PlayStation 1, A Bug's Life. So this was based on the Disney Pixar film of the same name.
Which the movie was amazing.
The movie was great. This came out November 18th, 1998. And man, was this game like bad and extremely hard. Like it was, I think I kind of lent more to its badness was how hard it was too. It was this, I mean, video game tie-in movies were never, or video video game movie tie-in game. How can I not say that? Movie tie-in games. My brain just
That
died
works.
there.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Oh, I cannot think of the word I'm trying to say.
It's a movie tie-in.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Movie tie-in.
You said that.
I was saying video game tie-ins. But
It
that's
is
not right.
It is really late.
My brain just broke into like 10 pieces. Yeah, anyways, it was a bad game. It was very poor level design. Like I remember like I got so stuck at this one point. I could not get by it, and I would restart the game. Like maybe I missed something earlier, so I'd restart all the way back at the beginning, play all the way through, boom, get stuck at the same point again. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It was a bad game. It was such a bad game. Like I just remember beating my head against the wall, how hard it was. And even I just happened to scroll down on those Wikipedia page looking at review scores. It got a Nintendo Power on the Nintendo 64 version anyways. Nintendo Power gave it a 6.2 out of 10. That's not terrible, but IGN gave it a 4 out of 10. GameSpot gave it a 2.7 out of 10. Yeah, it was not great. So, yeah, I would have to say Bugs Life. PlayStation 1, I hated it. But then my second worst game I've ever played is Bubsy in 3D. So what's funny is this actually came up. This was one of the first things we kind of discussed in our Discord with a bunch of our listeners. They came up like, hey, like, I forget, Hophead Eddie, one of the users in there, said something about, like, he brought Bubsy up. And Bubsy was such a bad game, but I think the worst of them all was the Bubsy 3D for PlayStation. Came out in 96, and man, it was so bad. Like, I just look at some of the, like, the graphics here for this game. Like, I don't know if you can, like, it's just like a bunch of random, like, color, like, there's your character there. There's these random little, like, atom floating things and question, like, that doesn't make any sense, right?
No, it doesn't. It looks very similar to like a fox in the vein of like a Cubert.
Something. I don't know. It was like, again, it was one of those things where it was like terrible level design, and just atrocious like level design and everything. It was such a bad game. Like no matter what Hophead Eddie says on Discord, he seems to like the Bubsy games.
Oh, he's liking it. Oh, wow.
It was hot trash. This one got, here's some of the reviews for this. Electronic Gaming Monthly gave it 3.25 out of 10. GameSpot gave it 5.5 out of 10. Like, not good. But
it looked like in the photos, it looked like it was unfinished.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like some sort of like weird like concept art for a game, or like the beginning, like, hey, this is just a little mock-up before we add the textures in. Like, that's what it looks like. Want to hear the strangest thing ever? PlayStation Extreme, which I believe was a magazine. Well, back in the 90s, probably most of these were just magazines. It got the Gold X Award. They gave it a 93%. This says, Bubsy 3D looks to set the new standard in action platform gaming.
Oh, wow.
So everyone else gave it like a big fat, terrible, worst game ever made. And then PlayStation Extreme's like, no way, this is the best game, best platformer ever made. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, because Bubsy was sitting there with a cold, hard stack of cash handing it over to
That's
PlayStation
the
Extreme.
thing I can think of.
Take this money and shut up. Run with it.
Yeah, so those are the two worst games I've ever played.
Well, you make it to where I don't want to play either of those two games.
Good. Yeah, don't ever do it. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for listening this week. It's been a wild ride, I'll tell you that much. If you haven't already, go check us out at Patreon, patreon.com/supergamerboys. Remember, you can rate and review us over on iTunes. That's the most preferable place if you can. Pretty please. You can find us throughout the week, supergamerboys.com, at supergamerboys on Twitter and Instagram, facebook.com/supergamerboys. You can find us on Discord. Remember, supergamerboys.com/Discord, /YouTube for YouTube, and then /Twitch for, Twitch. My personal Twitter is at @GMoreland. Go give me a follow over there.
My Twitter is at JJ Purdom. You could please follow me.
Follow him.
Build
but,
it. There's plenty of stuff to follow. Just don't stand directly behind me.
Jeez.
What?
Thank you so much to Star Andrews for our logo. Check her out on Instagram at Ground Floor Graphics and Facebook.com/Ground Floor Graphics. Alrighty, guys.
Man, we covered so much stuff. This was a joy. This was a pleasure. This is one heck of a week, Garrett.
Yeah.
Garrett extorted Grandma for money.
Wow.
What? We also just buried Bubsy 3D. What more could we possibly do here on this podcast?
We watched Norman Reedus pee.
We did. We did watch him urinate. All right, that's all I got.
That's all we got. Alrighty, guys. We will see you on the flippity flop.